We have a lot to discuss, so we're going to dive straight into the discussion. And Avinash, if I may, I would like to start off with you. Uh, a very honest opinion on what do you think the union budget has done with respect to technology? There's a lot of noise on how there's a lot of feedback on that the union budget has brought back focus on technology. It's going to make technology a reality in India. What's your honest rating? It's really brought it back. It's a start. It's gone a long way. What do you think?
Well, I think the first of all, there are lots of expectation from the new government across the board, not just for from a technology perspective, but to achieve quite a few things. If you look at the Prime Minister Modi, as well as the IT minister and most of the leaders within the party, they have been very significant supporters of technology, and the government, in my view, is very serious about doing things to implement and make an impact. It's just not about making policies. I think it's very, very focused on making an impact. And there is no other way to be able to do these things without the use of technology. We have an allocation of about 500 crores in terms of for the Digital India initiative, and about 100 crores for e-governance, for good governance. I mean, that's really a very, very small amount. So I think that's just probably an indication that there is an interest, but I think that things have to come in significantly. Now, just looking at some of the projects that have allocation of more than 1,000 crores, 60 new Ayakar Seva Kendras, more than 7,000 crores for smart cities, 1,000 crores for irrigation, 14,000 crores for upgrading roads, 37,000 crores for, again, highways and state roads, and 3,000 crores for police force. I think if you just look at some of these projects, a minimum of 5% of as technology is over 3,000 crores, fine. So you can just look at things as to how much money will be required. So I think that what the government needs to do is to be able to, and I know it's a challenge because money just doesn't come so easily, but what the government has to do is to really demonstrate a significant seriousness about implementing things, and I think the industry will be more than happy to collaborate and join hands to do that.
GB, you run Intel's largest geo, APAC and Japan. From your perspective, when you look at India, are you seeing the changes? Does the confidence go up when you look at the announcements in the budget and what's happening in the country post-election?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the confidence has increased, and I think the budget is widely viewed, not just in the country but outside the country, as being very pro-growth. And I think clearly technology seems to be elevated to the status of a core building block of the economy for the future, and it's clearly intended to drive broader access and efficiency across all sectors of the economy, which is critical, as you know. And I think if you drop down a level inside the budget, with the challenges of urbanization, which you heard earlier in the day, you saw the data, just huge challenge of 590 million citizens in urban areas by 2030, that kind of magnitude. It seems like smart cities would be the call of the day. And I think the good news, the encouraging part, is there are already solutions that exist, and some of those are even being showcased out there. Some solutions exist for things like water management, energy management, traffic management, safety and security. These kind of end-to-end solutions exist, and I think technology can play a core role in accelerating, that deployment. So I'm encouraged by it. I would say that my caution, in addition to what was mentioned earlier, is just it really comes down to execution and attention to detail on the plan. And we have inside the industry and inside our company, we have a focus on velocity, which means speed in a known direction. So I think the key is the right velocity and execution, attention to detail. And I think working together, private-public partnership is the right way to go, and I think that's been demonstrated in other areas in the past.
Thanks. Focus on velocity, yes, and I think I'm going to turn to Mr. Agarwal here. everyone's talking about the feedback generally is it is from an IT perspective, it's a great budget. But the question in everyone's mind is execution. I mean, as Avinash said, is there enough to execute? The velocity, does it exist? How committed are we to execute? Would request you to throw some light on, what's the government thinking on execution, and what are the plans? If you want to refer to your sector, perfectly okay.
Thank you very much. Initially, we were focusing basically on delivery of public services using ICT. And now, as you have rightly said, it has moved horizontally to make our villages, cities, institutions, organizations smarter. The way we work, the way we deliver services, the way we seek services, the way we live, the way we get educated, all these things had to be made smarter. And in all these areas, technology can play a very significant role. As you must have seen, the Prime Minister has got a vision about 3-4 things, and the same was reflected in the budget speech of the Finance Minister. First, he said that we will be developing 100 smart cities, and these are primarily in the nature of brownfield projects. The existing cities had to be made smarter. And when we say that these cities have to be made smarter, it means primarily, ma'am, that let us put all the building blocks in place. And while doing that, let us use technology. And thereafter, let's have a layer of ICT which will make all our systems very efficient and transparent and accountable. Second, the Finance Minister in his budget speech has said that we got to go in for the urban renewal of another 500 cities. Yeah. So when we talk about urban renewal, it is not mere creation of assets, as I said in the beginning. We got to make use of technology so that all these assets are talking to each other, and it's an integrated kind of a development. And thereafter, as per our strategy, we have to go in for the managed services rather than creating or procuring all these assets. Yeah. Third, learning from the JNN and URM is that we spend a lot of time in procurement. So whenever we go in for procurement, we got to create system so that these systems are not only efficient, they are very, very quick and then absolutely transparent. For example, suppose we were thinking about and we are doing some kind of a brainstorming for our smart cities. Is it possible that we develop a list of all vendors, and we also develop some kind of a price discovery kind of thing, so that we know that for this kind of a city, this kind of money will be given, for this kind of a city, this kind of money will be given. So the state governments or the local bodies, they don't have to discover the price again and again. However, they have the full freedom to select one of those vendors out of the list of say 50 or 100 or 200 or whatever it is. So the procurement cycle can be reduced significantly, and secondly, they are not scared of CBI and CVC and even the Government of India, because the Government of India has created only that kind of a list of vendors, and they have discovered price through a very transparent and bidding process. So whole lot of time and delays can be cut down. So we are trying to achieve that.
Thank you, sir.